Let me switch my accounts. There we go. Boom, getting tagged everywhere. Oh, we are live. Sweet. Sweet Mama June. Let me see. Come on, Instagram. Catch up. Man, it just will not catch up. Golly.
It's live now.
I know, but it's not showing live on mine, so I can't select it yet. But all right, we'll just go ahead and get on into it. We got some people already rolling in and everything.
You get a prize. Congratulations, you're first in the chat.
Yes, you do. You get the tip of my. Andy, you missed your whole cue there. You were supposed to. Wow.
I'm supposed to surprise you with it when you least expect it.
No, not supposed to be a surprise. It's literally supposed to cover up me cursing at people.
Why would you be cursing at people?
So what?
Why would you be cursing at people?
Because they're our fans.
God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Still down there. Still down there.
Still outside corner, your number one.
Was out. Hell was out. Jennifer just about outrigged him. And then she busted her ass.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, about that. So,
hey, how you doing?
Because they cannot be smart. That is also true, David Mons. I 100% agree. It must be a David thing. So, I mean, I agree. You just got added to the group chat. You're on very thin ice for a while.
Yeah.
But, so we went to Atlanta, and boy, was it one to talk about.
We did?
That thing was intense.
I don't remember.
What are you saying? What? Who? When? Where?
Remember.
What?
We went
can
to
you
Atlanta.
speak up? Nobody can hear you with it in your mouth.
Huh?
What? Comes to what?
Huh?
All right. So,
anyways,
let's start off with we had the boys at Dega finally.
The boys at Dega at Atlanta.
Yeah. Atlanta. We're getting ready for Dega. I'm so excited for Dega.
I'm excited for Dega. Yes, I get it.
Straight. There's a lot of stuff that I'm working on right now that you don't even know about yet, and it's going to get better.
How are you not sharing information with me, man?
You're welcome. Atlanta. What's up, Pittman? Was it a close race or something? No, it was actually the largest margin of victory across the board. Like, it was just so far apart. Super boring racing. There was nothing good to watch. I mean, it was a wrap it up, go home. No, that cannot be any farther from the truth of what that weekend was. Now, I guess if we're talking about Xfinity and trucks, it could be kind of close because it was kind of boring watching Saturday doubleheader. Was not as crazy.
Trucks was all right.
Trucks was all right, but Xfinity was downright awful.
Well, yeah, I took a nap.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the Walking Dead downstairs.
Yeah, I was out. My voice is somewhat recovering too.
I will say, this man yelled so much on Sunday that I thought he was going to be mute for at least a week.
I think I scared Kyle.
You might have scared from the very beginning when you were yelling at him as he was waving at people in the truck. I mean, it was just insane.
It was.
But let's get into
what up, Jeremy?
Weekend. What's up, Jeremy? Let's get into it. We had race weekend. It was a great time. We got to go down there with the bus. Bus did not fail again. It was an awesome trip. Got down there, no hiccups. Got set up for camp. And, man, it is against the wall like normal. Can't imagine how it looked from the front stretch.
Oh, I know. All the reels and everything that's been on Instagram, like from the stands.
Yeah.
I mean, I was jumping up and down. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I know. I took one bathroom break, and they went 4 wide on me. I was freaking –
dude, I think that's when I actually lost my voice. Charles and I were screaming so loud. That was insane, dude.
Yes. But
in fact, the thumbnail for this live is actually self-captured from when they went 4 wide. That shit was crazy.
I mean, it was intense, and it was great to be able to share it with people this time. So we actually had a bunch of people up on the bus with us. Saturday we kind of had the full chairgating crew. Sundays for NASCAR crew, and
OTC.
we didn't have any left turn cold on top of the bus, but we did have.
Oh yeah, we met
Chuck
up with
Racing. Uncle Chuck Racing was
Uncle
there
Chuck
with us.
Racing.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a blast. I had a great time, even though we got banned on TikTok Live.
Like 10 minutes into it.
Yeah, literally. So TikTok Lives is kind of our biggest thing when it comes to these races. And literally 10 minutes in, all of a sudden we get banned because I guess I'm a little too perky. I don't know what caused it, but yeah, we don't have access till March 2nd. Good news is Talladega will have access, but we won't have signal. So, great times.
No.
I'm missing thing I can't see.
It's right in front of you, dude.
My phone is blocking it. Shut up.
Yeah,
The bus
is TV famous.
Yeah, no, I actually went over there with Clint whenever they were filming that segment. But they ended up not using that portion of film. I watched it again to see. I saw them re-rolling it again after I had walked back over to our bus. But yeah, no, we didn't get included in it. Now, Andy did get a picture with him.
I did. And so when Clint was on that scene where Clint was riding the golf cart and he shows up to the the neighbor's bus and everything, I actually have a video. Oh, hopefully.
Wow, that looks terrible.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how well that's
great cameraman.
But I mean, that was it.
And I was standing on the other side of the bus right there whenever it came across. And they literally
get a picture of Clint.
Yeah. And Matt, sexy daddy.
Old rattlesnake.
Old rattlesnake there. What's up, Chairgaten?
Yo, what up, Chairgaten? Yeah,
there.
Dave was comment off there. If you're gonna handle the comments, come on, dude.
Like, I mean, you're slacking, so I got to catch up.
I'm not slacking. You said
you ain't got a voice, and you're slacking on comments. I don't know what we keep you around for. It's definitely not for the looks.
Yo, what up, rattlesnake?
What else we got in here? Let's see. Can't wait to go to Charlotte this year. Hope it's not miserable this year.
Weather gods are gonna let it. They're gonna let this be an awesome 600 weekend. I already feel it. We are going to have a fantastic 600.
And it sounds like we're going to have a lot of the boys there for that one as well. But
yeah, last minute, like I think Rattlesnake and Dakota kind of made their minds up on the bus. They're like, "Fuck, this is awesome. Let's go to 600."
Yeah, once you get on top of the bus, man, it's a whole different thing. Like we can keep saying it, but until someone experiences it's completely different, especially in Atlanta and Charlotte. Now, Talladega, when we go there, sitting in the stands, obviously we already know sitting in the stands is the optimal thing there because you can't see all the way around that track. So all you can see is this little corner, and you don't want to have that. You want to be able to see everything. Gotta be tough. Tower bottom, baby.
All right now, cut that shit out. I'm shaving this fucking beard off. Y'all keep that shit up.
Hey, whenever Corey was driving by, I did scream out and go, "Corey, I got your brother up here," and he just laughed. Brother. So he definitely saw and knew that, hey, that's my twin. I need to find them.
You said Ginger Brother too. He
was Ginger Brother, correct. I did scream and say Ginger Brother. I also played Rock, Paper, Scissors, and Noah Gregson, I'm sorry, but you lost, and maybe I shouldn't play Rock, Paper, Scissors because I think those scissors ended up cutting the tire and making you.
You are the reason.
Do the wall thing. So I apologize for that part of it.
And I apologize to Kyle Larson for scaring the shit out of him by going Kyle fucking Larson. Let's fucking go. But that shit was awesome. So.
Oh, what we got here? Let's see. You're slacking on comments, and I got you though. Y'all come over to our spot on turn 1 hill at 600. That's a far walk, but I think I might be able to walk.
We can get a ride.
Yeah, we can get a ride. We can get a ride because we're turn 3. When it comes to Charlotte, we're turn 3. Atlanta, we're turns 1 and 2. So it's a little bit different. Different sides of the track. But it's great. Great time. Great time. Hopefully Marcus Smith will fix Charlotte.
I think nothing needs to be done with Charlotte right now. I mean,
it's a mile and a half.
The cup cars are like perfect at Charlotte right now.
Yeah, see what these body changes do at this mile and a half. Obviously, we're about to hit Vegas, and that's going to be a good test and see how the changes is going to basically affect things. see if it was a good change, see if it was a bad change, kind of figure that out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we need to change anything about Charlotte yet. Atlanta is just becoming what at least me and you were saying last year, where we said this was going to become one of the best racetracks on the circuit. And this year kind of already proved that.
Yeah, it isn't Atlanta just going to age like fine wine? I feel like it is.
I feel like it is progressive banking. Now, I do wonder, when does it hit the threshold of going too far? And
Yeah, that's gonna be the question is can Goodyear keep up with tires and can NASCAR keep up with the package? Because if the track continues to evolve to where these guys can't race in a pack, I mean, then we're going to be talking about empty stands again and burn it down.
Atlanta is a mile and a half, but it does not race like a mile and a half because the way the banking is. It's only, I think,
a hybrid.
3 degrees different than Daytona, but it's a bunch narrower and it's also not as long.
28 degrees, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
Daytona's like 31.
Something like that. So it does not race like a traditional mile and a half. It's different in its own right, and it's showing it. That's better than I originally thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came to the perfect one, Joseph.
Well, and it's one of those things too where they've messed up tracks, right? Texas, when they touched that track, they ruined that track. Well, it wasn't that great to begin with, but let's just put it that way.
But no, Texas, like early 2010s to 2015 was gold.
Yes.
I mean, that was my favorite Texas. But before they really started fucking it up by putting resin and everything down on the track and whatever, PJ1, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Now it's just a dumpster fire.
Yeah. So what Bill say down
28 in Atlanta, 24 Charlotte. Yeah. I don't think Charlotte needs to have banking added to it. I think Charlotte has really, really aged now. Dale Jr. talked about it a while ago that they used some type of like futuristic asphalt that wasn't supposed to wear. And that's why Charlotte was so bad for years after they repaved it. But now it seems like it's really starting to wear in. And the biggest thing is that the bumps are starting to form in turns 3. I mean, where we're at for the 600, it's amazing.
Yeah. Wherever the tunnels are, obviously, it always settles down to where there ends up being a hump there. And me, Charlotte's fine the way it is right now. Until mile and a halves start going bad, which I don't see happening. Hopefully, I think it's fine the way it's set up currently. But yeah, so going back to Atlanta, hot Atlanta, beautiful weather. Finally, we had a great weather weekend too. Yeah. Windy, but great.
Saturday
weather.
was windy. Yeah, I got wind burned. I think the wind physically took it out of us. At the end of the night, we crashed. I mean, it was like what 8:30. We're both like, fuck it.
I remember looking at my phone as I was plugging it in, and I was like, "There's no way it's only 8:30," and I just didn't even second guess it. Just put the phone down.
Yeah,
hit that bunk, man. Hit the bunk.
Yeah. We Saturday too, before the even truck race, we had our buddies from Rubbin and Grubbin come by. We did a live podcast with them. That was fun. That was nice to meet up with them.
Yeah, and they ended up being on the segment talking about Kevin Harvick and the 0-1 win.
Yeah, Brandon was the one on the show, and he said he didn't tell us anything about it, but yeah, that Fox came by and Kevin snuck in there at the very end and met everybody. So that was cool for him. So not only were they on TV, we were on TV. So it was fantastic weekend all around.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just hope the truck race at Charlotte isn't a wreck fest. Unfortunately, any truck race is probably.
I think you'd be more worried, Nova. I think you'd be more worried about the ARCA race being the wreck fest.
They're all. I mean, both those series right now are turning into no money. I got no sense. Let's race, and that's all it is. Unfortunately.
Stop.
Trying to get tickets to Charlotte. It's not hard.
Yes,
just call.
Please get tickets to Charlotte. Go.
Just call. Ask them. Hey, I need tickets. It's easy.
Wherever you can find them, secondhand, whatever it is, you've got to go. 600 Charlotte will most likely be one of the best races of the year. I don't know how you top Atlanta.
I don't know if they can. I think Coke 600 might end up taking second this year.
Yeah, I'm curious to see I didn't even look to see what the poll that Jeff Gluck put out.
It was like 90-something% at one point. I don't know.
I know it was. They were talking about it listened to the teardown today, so
Did you? Yeah.
they were talking about it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at one point I checked and I want to say it was like 95%.
I'm looking
And
at it now.
normally it's always based off who wins. And Daniel Suarez isn't a proven they like it because they
Let's
won.
talk about Daniel Suarez for a second. Did this just save his seat? Did this win save his seat?
I don't know if it's enough. I think it's still going to determine what he does, but it definitely puts it in the right direction for him to keep it. Because I was on the train of he loses that seat in SVG or Zane, whoever does better, basically gets that spot. So
by the way, the poll finished out at 94.8%. So it was the fourth best race of all time.
Yep.
That
Since he started the poll.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, it was an awesome race all the way through.
It was the best super speedway race.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask Kyle Busch, he didn't like it because I was on his radio a couple times. And it was very interesting because Richard Childress got on there. Kyle was on there talking about how much they did not like the 99. But then at the end, in the little, they were asking him about it. I was like, Dan Suarez is a great guy. Was he? Because just earlier I heard you say some things.
I think that's just in-race frustration.
Yeah.
Now, Richard, listening to Richard on it, that's the only reason why you want to listen to those radios is to hear Richard come on.
Because Richard gets on there and he has no filter.
Yeah.
No filter whatsoever.
Here's something interesting, too, going back to Jeff Gluck's poll. He has this little spreadsheet showing the votes and everything. Atlanta had 49,000 votes. The next closest one out of the top 10 here was 26,000 votes. 2023 Kansas won.
Well, and on top of that, if you looked at the TV rankings, yeah, I mean, they were out of this world. I think it was 33% increase.
Atlanta, I said this earlier today, Atlanta has gone from losing a date down to one race a year, shitty attendance, like basically nobody there, to now what could be arguably one of the hottest tickets on the schedule.
Oh, for sure. I'm interested to see what September looks like. I mean, from the top of the bus, the stands looked good. They weren't full.
They look pretty
great.
Remember
how big Atlanta is.
They look pretty great for the time of year, especially nobody really knowing what weather was going to be like. I think the only thing that Atlanta has struggling with them for the September race is college football is rolling back around. Is Georgia playing that weekend? I don't know. You know better than I do, but yeah. So I mean, if that's the case, that may pull some fans, but
we'll see. I mean, I'm interested to see it because everyone talked about how great this race was. That only sells tickets for the next race, so we shall see. But long season to go, but definitely a good start. Yeah, it definitely is a good start. On how well he does in the playoffs. And that's if he still makes the playoffs. This does not guarantee that he is in the playoffs. Yes, it's a win. And yes, last year they had 2 places left, or was it 2 or 1? 2, I think it was 2 places. 2 places left at the end of the year, but it's not a guarantee. There could be enough winners this year because front row right now, I think they got a couple wins in them. Colleague with Justin Haley.
I can see McDowell pulling off a win.
RWR with Justin Haley has the possibility of a win.
I think though this year you're going to see a lot more continuity between these top teams. I don't know if you're going to see a lot of lower funded, B tier teams coming out here and stealing some wins.
But who's the B side teams? Because let's think about this. Spire. Is Spire a B team or is it an A team?
It's definitely a B team.
Are you sure?
There's no way they're an A team.
They have 2 top tier teams supporting them.
Maybe supporting them, but they're not a top tier Chevrolet manufacturer team.
Did you see how much Hendrick was on that team? And then you have
I'm not arguing that. Like Hendrick supplies the pit crews. Yeah, I mean Hendrick supplies the pit crews and everything, but as far as like manufacturer support, I don't see Spire getting the exact same resources and notes that Hendrick and RCR is getting.
I think they're sharing them. I think Chevy
is sharing it to an extent, like they would, like what Ford would be doing with front row and everything. Now, front row is 100% an A tier team. They've already announced that.
Yeah, we know that part. But I'm saying, like, if Hendrick's giving me information, and then I have Spire on the opposite side giving me information, or sorry, Trackhouse on the other side giving me information, then I can get A part and B part, and now I got the whole picture together, and they don't know what the other one's telling them. So I mean, Spire kind of is perfect situation here because
we
with
will
the amount of
see
money in it,
we will see because the season starts this weekend.
it does, and we'll see how those teams continue to do. I mean, obviously, we've already seen Legacy so far. There hasn't been a bad, really. I mean, Daytona, they
I
finished
don't.
pretty
Yeah, I
good.
don't even. I'm not even judging the last 3 races.
You
The
can't.
season starts this weekend.
Yeah. Well, because you're a
We will
Larson fan,
see.
that's of course what you're going to say.
I don't mean it like that. We will see how the Toyotas fare with the new body, how the Fords will fare with the new body. I mean, the Toyotas, they're talking about, they've got the best body in the field. So they were slow in qualifying the last 2 weekends. So we're going to find out for sure. Coming to a mile and a half, Toyota thinks that they're going to have the best mile and a half program.
They're paying a lot of money to be a B team. That is exactly what I'm talking about. They're throwing a bunch of money at it, and they're getting a lot of top tier help from 2 of the best teams when it comes to Chevy.
I still think they're a B tier team.
I don't know. I don't know if you can consider
We're
it
going
a
to see if Corey.
It's a B plus team at least.
Okay, now we're making up fucking in between ratings. Shut the fuck. Let's move on.
So let's get into penalties real quick because obviously the penalties have been announced. I made the video for our TikTok earlier. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check out our TikTok later. Watch it. I made sure I edited Logano's bald spot back in pre-hair plug Logano, and yeah. So let's talk about that. So we hear at the very beginning that SHR, the Gregson and Priest cars had the roof aero rails confiscated before the race even started. Now, that is a team supplied part. That is not a single source part. So it is going to be a little bit different. But they only got 35 points. It's owner points and driver points. What's up, Uncle Chuck Racing? Good to see you on here. But
yo, Uncle Chuck.
But what do you think about that? Only 35 points. I was expecting more.
I was expecting more, although I wouldn't say they were like a tampered single source part like what the Hood Lubers Lubergate was last year. So with them being a team supplied or team manufactured part, whatever you want to call it, I guess that definitely helps them in the penalty side.
Mm-hmm.
It still hurts Noah, and it still hurts was it Briscoe or Priest?
Priest.
Yeah, it still hurts the 2 of them. I mean, Noah's negative points right now, but
-6.
-6
and Priest is 0. And I mean, that kind of sucks because, I mean, Noah comes off of Daytona having a 9th place finish. And, finally he has that good cup finish. It's Daytona.
And then comes into this weekend and wrecks on lap 2.
And then comes in this weekend, gets in that wreck lap 2. So he doesn't get many points. And now this puts him negative. So he's got to race out of it. It's a little sucky for him. Yeah. But it is very interesting to see how it's going to end up happening because what doesn't make sense is I thought it was going to be 35 points. I'm fine with 35 owner points. I'm fine with, but I thought there was still going to be a monetary fine on top of it. And there was no monetary fine.
There wasn't a monetary fine.
Not at all. No monetary fine.
That's a little strange, but I mean, NASCAR said originally with the next gen car that if you tamper with any parts, especially single source supplier parts, the penalties would be heavy.
Yeah, and that's where
not being with these not being that, I guess there's a big leeway there. They're not going to drop the hammer on them. Now, on the other hand, Logano, I think he got off really easy.
This one I do not understand. This is the one that kind of frustrates me and makes it to where it's like, all right, Denny gets in trouble for saying things on a podcast, okay, and then you have a guy who takes an SFI approved glove. It might not have been him, but someone on that team took an SFI approved glove and they just sew webbing into it. So I don't know how these gloves are made. I don't know if that makes it to where if there was a fire that now that it's been penetrated a bunch of different times, if that's going to now not hold its same fire safety rating. I don't know that fact. But what I do know is you took a safety protocol item and you modified it. That has to be an issue. You also had a competitive advantage. Now there's a bunch of drivers that say doing it doesn't do anything, doing it does do it, so on and so forth, whether it speeds you up or not. But this is a safety issue. And we just gave a fine, no points, and it's not even a heavy fine. It is a very light, okay, cool.
Here's $10,000, wasn't it?
10,000.
Yeah, Joey can pay that, himself.
Yeah.
Like
That's
no
less than he paid per hair plug.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
It's crazy.
Yo, what's up, Joey? Welcome to the chat, brother. Tampering with parts is like baseball pitchers using a foreign substance. Absolutely.
It's actually lighter than foreign substance right now.
Yeah.
And then apparently there is no such thing as a Pete Rose in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Joe Logano.
Yes. Yes. Should we play the video of how we greeted Joey when he came out of the pits after wrecking himself?
We should show the video. I wish someone took a video of how we reacted to the TV. Yeah, on top of the bus when we figured out it was him, and all of us jumped over to the TV and we were all giving him the salute. Yeah. Levi on the Instagram says that at least it's early in the year talking about the Noah penalty. Yes, 100% agree, and I definitely think he has enough races this year that he will make up for it. I'm really hoping for a better finish than he did last year. I think really it is only up for him.
Well, it's interesting too that Stewart Haas could appeal it. They haven't said that they are or they aren't, but I mean they could appeal it and see where it lands.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on there, and we all know if Hendrick appeals something, they win it. So let's see what goes on for some of these other teams. We'll see.
Maybe Tony Stewart's got some deep enough pockets to pay NASCAR off to get this.
He might. The dude's got some freaking money nowadays.
Yeah. So, anyways, Cup race, Atlanta. Let's talk about that race.
From the
where do we begin?
It's hard because we missed a part of qualifying because we went out and saw the boys at the haulers. Now, I think we actually start there. I know this is weird. We're talking about racing, but let's talk about out front. Let's talk about how it was different, just the atmosphere of Atlanta from the start. Yeah. And this goes for the fan zone. So the fan zone this time, if you didn't go to Atlanta, it was bigger, better, and had more family activities as well as things for your regular schmo to go to. I mean, they had fair rides out there this time. Ross has his own hauler now. I mean,
that was the most shocking part to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who made the decisions to do this differently, and I don't know if Daytona did the same thing. But this year's fan zone, whatever you want to call out there, was so much better than I've ever seen Atlanta. At least unless you go way back when every driver had their own, merch hauler.
Yeah. The merch hauler setup, the fan zone, midway, whatever you want to call it, there was more people there in that area than I have seen in a long time. Now, granted, we always go on Saturday, so we don't really get to see the full gist of it. But I was even surprised.
Saturday was packed.
Saturday was packed. That's what I mean. I was even surprised Saturday how many people were showing up to it. So I know weather had a lot to do with it. The last couple of years we've been to Atlanta, it's been freaking miserably cold. Mm-hmm. This year, it was windy, but it wasn't cold. Nope. It was chilly from time to time, but it wasn't bad at all. Sunny, not a cloud in sight. I mean, people showed up and they supported the track this weekend. So hats off to them for that. Yeah, Rick had enough to get out of murder if he wanted to. You ain't lying about that. Oh, we could talk for a whole hour on that.
Let's get a little bit farther in, and then we'll come back. We'll circle back to you, Ronald. Promise. But yeah, so I mean, just the atmosphere at Atlanta from the start was just better. They obviously redid some of their ticket booths, but it was kind of funny. Did you notice which ticket booth they didn't redo?
No, I didn't even pay attention.
The very first gate, the petty entrance, is the only one. Is the only one they didn't redo, and it's right there where the gift shop and everything is. When we had to take the tram around.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess that wasn't really in the budget. I mean, they had the money for all the fireworks and everything, but maybe they just had to save some for the fireworks versus redo all their gates.
I don't know. I feel like they asked Petty, and he was just like, well, guys, I like it old school. Let's just leave it old school. I just feel like that's going on there. But overall, Atlanta, as soon as you pulled in the track, I mean, we pulled in with the turbo whistle whistling, had the blow-off valve blowing, and we never looked back.
Blow-off valve. Okay. Shut up. Vibe was immaculate this weekend. Yes, it was. Anybody who hasn't been to Atlanta, if you're in the Southeast, make it a destination because while there isn't a whole lot to do in the general vicinity, just the race itself, even if you come for just the Cup race, a day trip. Jeremy, he made the day trip to, he came from Florence. So hats off to you, Jeremy. I don't know, what was that, about a 5-hour drive one way? That was a long day for you, but I mean, you were treated to an excellent race. A lot of fans were treated to an excellent race. And speaking of it, we started off the race this weekend, took the green flag, and they got up to speed and came around turn 1 for the first full lap at speed. And sure enough, there was a fucking wreck, and a big wreck.
And it was right in front of us too. Like it was off to the corner, and then it carried all the way. Like that wreck. That wreck was like where it collects forward.
I didn't even see it start because I was cheering on Kyle. He was taking the lead. So I was cheering Kyle on, looking into turn 2, and I just turned around and looked over to turn 1. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I was watching it. All of a sudden, I'm seeing Noah because that neon front, which is why I love that scheme. And all of a sudden, I just see it start going like this. I'm like, oh, no. And then I see him just go right up into the wall. I'm like, oh, no. Yeah. And I had to watch everything else just evolve right there in front of us.
4.5 hours one way, but definitely well worth the trip.
Good job. But I mean that was right off the bat. I mean, this race, I think they said at the end there was only 5 cars that were not involved in an incident. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if you go in there and you look at who got pit road penalties, I'm pretty sure 0 cars made it through without either being in a wreck or getting a pit road penalty. Because man, that first couple runs at pit road, everyone was getting hit.
Yeah, there was quite a few guys that had pit road penalties. I know Chastain had one there towards the middle of the race, put him a lap down. I don't know what they're doing there with the commitment line or whatever on turn 3. I watched the race yesterday on TV, replayed it, and they said that under green you have to be doing 90 mile an hour, and the commitment area, and then once you get to the actual line of pit road, that's what it drops down to 45 or something.
Yeah.
It's
2-stage.
Yeah, it's 2 stages. I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe they can tweak that or whatever, because I'm sure that's where Ross got the penalty, and a lot of guys were getting their penalties from.
I don't know, but they gave a weird practice just for it.
Yeah, it was only like 1 lap. You only got 1 chance at it, just to to try it out. Again,
that part didn't make any
please, sense. NASCAR, can we go back to having some practice sessions, even if it's just 1? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Every track, regardless, and bring back speed weeks while we're at it. But at least give us practice.
Daytona's behind us, buddy.
I want awesome.
So even after the big wreck on lap 2,
it
did not slow anybody down from being aggressive.
No, I mean. I only remember one time where it started to go single file, and then it was like, nah, back at it again, boys.
And it really felt like that was only when they were, trying to, strategize or get in line, to make pit road. Just like you would see at a super speedway, when manufacturers work together. Last weekend at Daytona, same thing. So, but when they were actually out there, not having to worry about, pitting or anything, they were racing 100%. There was no laying back.
Nope.
There was a couple guys that were super aggressive all day. Austin Cindric for one. Briscoe was another one. Joey Logano, which, I mean, no surprise, Joey Logano being aggressive.
That's just him.
That's just him. And it bit Joey. I mean, I find it ironic. He was such a hypocrite last weekend talking about bad blocks. And who made a bad block?
Him. And he took my boy out. Why you got to take Busher out? And here's another thing too. All these vehicles that were involved in these wrecks, a lot of them still finished the race. This body is very durable.
There was only 6 or 7 cars that did not finish the race.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, the bodies are super durable. We watched, Charles and I, we were watching Hamlin. Denny got into the wall, basically rode the wall in turns 1 and 2. And I looked at, he was all upset, fuck, Denny's hit the wall and everything. I'm like, dude, he's okay. Yeah. And he just, he fell a couple of positions back and just worked his way right back to the lead.
Yeah, he got involved in an accident and still came out second.
He wrecked in every single stage.
Yeah, he hit the trifecta.
The trifecta.
Yeah, he hit the trifecta. And I mean, even Busher was involved in like 3 or 4 ordeals.
Chase Elliott hit the trifecta times 3.
Yeah, Chase Elliott was
I think by the second stage, Chase was ready to go home.
Jeez, he could not have enjoyed that ride at all, which I was fine for. It was good. It was a good first
I
weekend.
wasn't complaining.
But no, I mean that was a great race. Not just because of Rex, but also the on track, just the racing atmosphere of it, the comers, the goers. It's all those things that made this race just.
The slingshots were absolutely insane. I mean,
Yeah.
it was every single lap. It felt like that these guys were slingshotting each other for the lead.
Yeah.
You could watch them. From our perspective, we couldn't see the tri-oval, but you could see the rest of the track. So we could watch them come into turn one with a massive run, second place have a massive run, and slingshot the lead, take the lead. By the time they're on the backstretch, whoever they took the lead from is now getting slingshot back around and taking the lead back into turn three. It was amazing to watch all the passing, all the runs forming. I don't have this package worked perfectly this weekend.
It did, finally. And the only thing they still didn't have, tire fall off. That's the only thing they didn't have. And they're going apparently to a softer tire or a grippier tire. That's what Denny was talking about on Actions Detrimental. So I'm interested to see if that makes it better or if that puts that threshold for Atlanta just that much closer.
Yeah, I think it'll make it a little bit better because you're going to see, especially in the summertime when the track's even hotter, these guys were already on the edge. We saw it with Brad. He just got loose and lost it.
Yeah.
So if we race on a hard tire going into Atlanta this summer with 120-degree track temperatures, they're going to be pretty slick. And these guys are already on the edge. Like I said, we may see even more wrecks. So with a grippier tire, I would suspect we're going to see guys have a lot more cushion or whatever they feel like they can push the envelope even more is what I'm trying to say. So we may see even better racing.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what we have on here. Love how Chase avoids hitting Todd Gilliland at Daytona, but we can't avoid this one. Yeah. If Atlanta had a theme song, it would have been NASCAR 7th. Yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just great for start to finish. They went 4 wide a couple different times.
4 wide, my God! I already talked about it. How we were just jumping up and down, screaming.
I know. I could feel it.
I lost my voice. That was we saw Austin Cindric. I mean, Send It Cindric. That's what his new nickname is at Super Speedways because he just don't give a fuck. He's gonna make runs and take them when he can.
Yeah, I was so surprised. Old Jersey Charles was just rooting him on, and Jersey Charles, he loves them for some reason. I don't know what's going on there.
Team Penske, I tell you what, they were on top of it last week and this week. When it comes to super speedways, they've got something figured out already. But Hendrick did too. I mean, we saw. Now, granted, all 4 Hendrick cars were caught up in accidents, but out of all of them, Larson was the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
He hung around the front all race until about 40 to go, and that wreck happened that he got caught up in.
And then
0 for 5 now. 0 for 5 for finishing the new Atlanta reconfiguration.
Yep. He is. He's really good at super speedways and really bad at super speedways.
He's really good at having bad luck.
Yeah, very much so.
Because I'm telling, I'm pretty darn sure every single DNF he's had in Atlanta since the reconfiguration has not been his doing. It's just been getting caught up in other shit.
Well, he puts himself in that spot. That's the thing. So it is his doing. It's just he did not initially cause the accident. He keeps putting himself in those predicaments. Yeah. But let's talk about the finish itself. So obviously coming to the green, we're watching it, and all of a sudden we see Kyle Busch make it 3 wide. And man, we could not tell. We were watching it, trying to figure it out. We saw it coming out of obviously turn 4, but then it hits that little spot where we can't really see. And we were looking at the TV trying to figure out, all of us, everyone's just clamoring, trying to figure out who won that race. Yeah. And it was 0.003. Was that
3/1000th of a second? It was the 3rd closest finish behind Darlington of 03 with Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven. In Talladega, I think that was 2011 with Boyer and Johnson.
Yeah.
But I will say that out of those 3 finishes, this one seemed to be the most epic because it was a 3 wide finish. There was no contact, and it wasn't Cars montage. It was cool the first time I saw it, but then the 3rd and 5th and 79th time I've seen it on social media now, I'm like, okay, that's enough. It's the Hell Melon already all over again.
Oh yeah, and they're going to use this for years. It's going to be like everything, every skit for Atlanta is going to have that.
But can you blame them? I mean, Dale Jr. said at the end of the Atlanta race last year, he's like, "This is the hottest ticket on the circuit. You've got to get your ticket to Atlanta." And then they got backed up with this. Like, again, people, if you're not going to Atlanta or have plans to go to Atlanta, make plans.
You got to put. It's got to be one of those races you go to.
Yeah,
not a person in their seats for the last lap. I would not bet against that. I would believe that every single person was on their feet, and almost everyone was probably jumping. They had to be screaming.
That shit was awesome.
What is some changes to new car you think? In general, horsepower. They need horsepower. I mean, we're going to keep saying it. It's a dead horse, but we're going to keep beating it.
Fred over here has been tired of being getting hit, but he's dead, so why does it matter?
Yeah. It was definitely a great race. Good side-by-side race in the finish. We'll definitely take the #1 spot on the NASCAR commercials. Yeah, replacing the 2000 for sure.
This race will go down as all-time classic, and it's not just for the finish. Just for the finish. It'll be the entire
thing.
race.
Yeah, the entire race was great.
Yeah, I watched it over yesterday. Now, granted, I fell asleep during the middle of stage 1, but I was pretty fucking tired from this weekend too. So I'll have to go back and watch it again. But yeah, that's a classic, instant classic. I guarantee you it'll be more exciting than this one, and it's only going to be because how many times have you seen the beginning playoff races over the last couple of years just be completely unpredictable?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an unpredictable race going back to Atlanta. You're going to have guys just pushing it. Bang Bus Boys, yes sir.
Yes, sir.
What up, brother?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, it's going to be a completely unpredictable race. Higher track temperatures. It's going to be crazy.
It's gonna be more greasy, and you're gonna have guys that are really, really. I mean, it's the first race of the playoffs.
First playoff race.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going for those stage points. You're going for that win. You're trying to start off the playoffs right. It's going to be insane.
Yeah. Ain't that some shit, Dakota, that we're taller? Taller than you expected?
Both at the same time. Yeah. See, you already got to eat with Andy once. But we're both freakish giants. Well,
Yeah.
But
you don't want to send the video you were recording on the way to Atlanta?
Which one?
Oh, you know which video I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the one.
Yeah, freakishly large.
Oh man, those videos that are in between getting to the track are always the best videos. I'll leave it at that. There's a lot of people who understand that.
I got you.
So I want to circle back real quick to Ronald's question before we go into our picks. When he was asking about some of the equipment, I believe is this one. Yes.
Yeah.
Gadget wise, so first off, you got to have a generator. I mean, that's a given. So I'm not going to really go into too much there. But what kind of generator? Please do not be that guy that just has the regular generator that is as loud as it can possibly be. Yeah, you got to have an inverter generator. You got to have one of the quieter ones. The Predator 3500 from Harbor Freight, it's, I don't know, $600-700, and
it's like $850 right now, but you can only put more deals.
That thing has lasted us a very long time. Knock on wood.
Three seasons. How long that generator we've had, and it has run a minimum of like 65, 70 hours straight every weekend. It never gets shut off. We always fuel it up. And the only thing I ever do too is change the oil every off season.
Yep, it's a phenomenal generator.
It's got over 700 hours on it already after 3 seasons. So
yeah, so get you a good generator that's an inverter generator. Don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. On top of that, the great thing to have is bathroom. So for us, one of the big things.
I thought that'd be #1 on your list.
That generators first because it gives me AC with it, and light. But bathroom, got to have a good bathroom, man. I don't know about you, but I like my throne, man. I like my throne. I got to have it. It's got to have space. I got to be able to stretch the elbows and then crack a window if you need it. You know what I'm saying? So bathroom is
Trust
a
me,
big
you
one.
need it.
Yeah, mini split unit if you're in a schoolie, but if you're in a regular camper, you probably already have AC. But then you get into the grilling stuff. You got to have your grilling stuff. You got to make sure that you got. I mean, a pellet grill is great. RecTech has a bunch of different things. Has the Weekend Warriors. It's got the a bunch of different things you can use there. We have a Blackstone flat top that we set up on a portable table. Make sure you got a portable table, portable chairs. Those things you got to have. But yeah, something to cook with, grilling with, and then also all the stuff that kind of goes along with that. Spatulas, tongs, all that good stuff. Um, and then heaters. That's about it.
Yeah, outdoor heaters for
Outdoor patio heaters, or we have the Mr. Buddy personal heater. So I mean, just that's about it. Everything else, it's kind of what you want. Earplugs for the cup cars now. They're very loud. They didn't used to be at a Talladega or a super speedway. You could probably get away with not having them, but all these tracks now.
If you're infield, I would definitely say for the truck and Xfinity stuff, we don't typically wear earplugs. It's not that loud. The exhaust is coming out the right side, so it's hitting the wall. While it does reverberate off the wall and it is somewhat loud, it's nowhere near as loud as the cup cars. Cup cars are ear bleedingly loud.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say I'm a man and I could handle it, but it's fucking loud.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, also bring a portable TV or bring a TV that you can bring up on top, because that was great. Atlanta and Charlotte, we typically have enough reception that we can run a TV off of our phone.
If you're a real baller, go ahead and get you some Starlink. Then you won't have to worry about cell servers.
Yep. It'd be great stuff to have. But all right, let's get into our picks. Let's move over because we're already almost 50 minutes into this one. So let's move into our picks for Vegas. I have a eerily I kind of feel like I know who you're going to pick here.
Do you?
So I'm going to go first because I already know who you're going to pick, and I'm not going to pick him because I know who you're picking. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm picking Hamlin in the group chat, which Hamlin's done good at Vegas, but recently not done as well. So I think I'm going to go with a different Toyota here, and I think this is where Christopher Bell will probably get his first win of the season.
That is a solid fucking pick. I'm really curious to see how these Toyotas work out this weekend on a 1.5 miles, because everything that I've heard, the Toyotas are supposed to be the car for the 1.5 miles.
Yep.
So with that being the case, Bell, Hamlin, Truex, any Joe Gibbs car, I don't know about Legacy just yet. I want to see how they do.
Still not bought into that.
Yeah, I think these next couple weeks, I'd say the next 3 months is going to be the trial period on Legacy to see how they do with this Toyota switch.
Yeah, they already said they're not affiliated
with any other teams, but they are a tier Toyota team. They're getting all the manufacturer support. So we'll see. As far as my pick, I actually you say you know who I'm picking. Who am I picking?
Larson.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, it's Vegas, and it's always one of those things where he has a bad race, and then he goes into like one of those next 1.5 miles, whatever the next 1.5 miles is, and just obliterates everyone.
I have a really good feeling this year about Larson. Something tells me that he's going to have a 5, 6, 7 win season.
Very, very possible. Very, very possible.
I think he's motivated.
And I think Byron is going to be right up there with him still.
I think Byron is too. I think it's going to be the Larson Byron show at Hendrick again.
Yeah.
I think those two.
I think Chase does get 2 wins this year. Yeah. But we'll see.
I think Chase gets probably 2 or 3 wins, but I don't see him dominating. I don't see him, being the head Hendrick driver. And Bowman, I don't know what to think about Bowman. I think he could steal one. I think he could win 1 or 2. I kind of have him like as a little bit of a sleeper this weekend. I mean, he won. I think it was 2022 that he won the Vegas spring race. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's it for this week. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Really appreciate everyone in the chat, whether it be on our Facebook side, YouTube side, Instagram side. Really appreciate all of y'all. Make sure that, again, Fascar 10, if you need a new cooler, you can either put your 12 pack in it. They even have one for the 24 packs, as well as they have the nice backpack coolers. But use our code Fascar 10. I just looked today. It's been a while since I've looked, and someone has used our code. A couple people have now. So we actually, luckily for us, we've had a couple people use our code, get 10% off, and now they have a pretty cool cooler. So thank y'all so much. I'll be happy when Chase wins. We'll see.
We'll see.
But thank y'all for everything, and that's all I got. So see you.
Yee. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you Monday next week. We're back on our regular schedule. So
yep, till Dega, till Dega. Then we go back. We'll have a Tuesday one on that one, and then it's always Mondays unless we're out of track.
Yep. All right, guys. We appreciate it.
See you.